Welcome to Confessions of a Small Biz Mama, episode 32, 3 ways to save time on household tasks. All right, mamas, I know that you are insane crazy busy, right? With COVID, you are remote schooling, homeschooling, not schooling all the time. You're constantly going back and forth, like around here. Are we going to go to school? Are we not going to go to school? What's going to happen? You're probably trying to juggle, all of the responsibilities around your house, or you're delegating them, you're splitting them up with your spouse. And it's a lot, and it's exhausting, and it's tiring. And so today I want to talk about 3 ways to save time on your household tasks. Now, the thing that inspired this was I just finished reading a book by Eve Rodsky called Fair Play. And the tagline for it is a game-changing solution for when you have too much to do and more life to live. Does that sound like you right now? Yeah. Okay, so if you go to smallbizmama.com for the show notes for episode 32, we do have the link to this book. And if you use our link, then we'll get a little bit of money from Amazon, but it doesn't cost you anything. The way that I ingested the book, okay, because I don't really have time to sit down and read. I love audiobooks. And so if you go to smallbizmama.com/audible, you can get a free 30-day trial with 2 free audiobooks from Audible. But you have to use our link. Like if you just go to Amazon, Audible's only going to give you 1 book. But if you use our link, smallbizmama.com/audible, you'll get 2 books. And one of the things I think people don't realize, like I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and she was looking for meditations. And I'm like, well, are you an Audible subscriber? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, Audible has meditations. Audible has meditations. It has sleep sounds. It has free Audible only books, which is really cool. And so there's lots more to Audible. Like if you haven't checked out Audible in the last 6 months to a year, you need to go check it out because there is so much stuff in there, including subscriptions to 4 different newspapers. They'll actually read you the top stories from 4 different newspapers. Like how cool is that? So check out smallbizmama.com/audible, and you can get your copy of Fair Play for free, along with another book, maybe a steamy romance to kind of help you forget how busy you are. We'll see. Okay, so I think, and the reason that the kind of Fair Play inspired this is because it made me think about a lot of things that I'm not keeping track of. Like when I was reading this, so Fair Play, it's actually a game, okay, that you play with your significant other. But the thing that was kind of interesting with it was that I'm going through all of the cards that she uses in the game. And when you buy the book, she actually, tells you how you can download them. She has 100 cards, and I never, half these things I never even thought of. And maybe because Eric's too little, or because COVID, but I just couldn't believe it. I'm like, oh my God, oh yeah, that. Oh yeah, we do that. Oh yeah, there's that. Oh, and when we're done with COVID, there'll be that. Ugh. And so just trying to keep up with all these things. So I think that that's really key, is trying to come up with that list. So you can either come up with your own list. Like I said, you can get the Fair Play book. If you go to smallbizmama.com and look up episode 32, we'll have the links to the book, the links to Audible, and the link to my Mother of All Time courses, which I'll talk a little bit more about at the end of the show, that you can get for free. So I think that that's really critical, though, to have that list and kind of know what's really going on in your house when you start this process. So the first thing that I would do when you have your big, huge list and you're looking at all the things is I would look to see what you can outsource. Okay. That's number one. And so, I don't think we realize that there are many things in our house that we can outsource. Okay. If you hate doing laundry, do you know that there are laundromats that will wash your clothes for you? You just have to drop them off. We used to do that when we lived in an apartment. And honest to God, I think it was like, it cost us like $20 a week to do it. And it was the best $20 we spent every week. I'd imagine now at this point, it's probably more expensive than that. But if you really hate doing laundry and you want to get that time back, like we used to literally just drop off all of our laundry and we would come up, it would be folded, it would be hung. Like it was amazing. And they did like a way better job than we did on our laundry. And so like that's something you can outsource. We've outsourced all of our outside stuff, our lawn care, our fertilization, all that stuff has been outsourced. We were outsourcing our cleaning before COVID. We haven't gotten back to having somebody come in and clean our house yet, but that's coming. That will be, you know, if the numbers stay low here in Connecticut, that may be coming back. So I think that, you know, you really need to think about, I mean, if you don't like doing food prep, there are services that will do food prep for you. There are meal services that will send you just what you need to make the meal. And then, you know, you make it. There are some services that will send you frozen meals, either for you or for your kids. That all you have to do is heat them up. I mean, like the sky is the limit here, guys. You know, one thing that I love, and I think a lot of people don't think of this as outsourcing. I love Target Drive Up. Have you used Target Drive Up yet? So Target Drive Up is a service where you have to do it from your phone. It doesn't work from your computer. Got to do it from your phone. But what you do is you put your order in. You say you want to drive up, right? So you don't even have to get out of your car. Okay, this is so awesome. So, and there's no minimum. Okay, there's no minimum for this. So if you need milk, if you need bread, and this is pretty recent that you can do cold stuff. We've done milk, we've done bread, we've done shampoo. We've done, you know, you could do Halloween candy, you could do, I mean, whatever you need, you can put it in, say you want to drive up, and in less than 4 hours, your order will be ready. How cool is that? Like, how cool is that? You know, it's better than the Walmart one because you don't need a time slot. You just say, you know, usually you have to pick it up within like, I think 36 hours or 48 hours from when you place the order. How cool is that? Like seriously, such a good time saver. And I consider that outsourcing, right? You can also do things like Instacart, you can do Peapod, you can do Walmart pickup. I mean, there's just so many ways. Most stores now, like I know Joann's, if you need something from Joann's, you can do curbside pickup. Like, seriously, unbelievable. Okay. And so I think we really need to be thinking about things we don't like to do, things we don't have time to do, things that are possible. Like, I know if I go into Joann's, like, I'm not walking out for less than like $60, right? But if there's just a couple things I need for a project, I can put them in curbside pickup, and then I don't have to worry about going into the store and spending God knows how much money. Okay, so that's kind of another nice thing with doing the curbside pickup as well. And like, I know we have like a Skechers store nearby. They're doing that. A lot of clothing stores, Kohl's has curbside pickup. So, you know, think about like if you don't want to go into the store and do the shopping and you know what you want, like why not, right? Huge time saver. Okay, so that's the first one, outsource. And think outside the box for what you can outsource. You know, if there's something you're like, I don't know if I can outsource this, go into the Small Biz Mama group on Facebook and post. Does anybody know how to outsource this? And I bet you will come up with a solution for you. Okay. All right. So outsourcing was the first one. The second one is delegate based on strengths. Okay. Now here's the thing. When you delegate, you have to delegate all of the pieces. Okay. So Eve Rodsky, who wrote Fair Play, she talks about CPE, conception, planning, and execution. You can't conceive and plan and then give it to your spouse to execute. That's not going to work. Okay. You have to outsource the whole thing. Okay. Conception, planning, and execution. But then, you know, when you do that, the nice thing is you can let go. Okay. And delegate based on strengths. So one thing, my husband, God bless him, he is so much better at cleaning than I am. Okay. But I'm a better cook. So I do the cooking, he does the cleaning. Okay. And it's worked out really well. I mean, we've been married for 19 years, it'll be 20 years in May. Okay. So that's worked out really, really well for us. One of the nice things with, with Eve's book is it gives you the cards that you can actually like, deal out and split out between the two of you. So that's really, really cool. Okay. So, and here's the thing, if you delegate, okay, and this is one thing that Eve talked about in the book that like I kind of completely forgotten about. You don't have to keep the delegation that way forever. So maybe I cook one week, Jeff cooks the next week, right? Or, I do laundry one week, he does laundry the next week. Like you can trade back and forth as long as you're like clear about like, hey, we're gonna mix things up a little bit. Don't just don't just start taking over the laundry. Okay. You really have to make sure that you're kind of, you're calling this task. Okay. That's really important because otherwise then it gets confusing, right? If you're both trying to do it. Again, another really good point that Eve made in her book. Okay. I'm seriously, guys, like probably one of those like thoughtful books, right? That really made me think about how we're doing things in our house, in a really long time. Like it really made me think like, wow, even when I'm like delegating things, I am keeping control. And I have to let that go. And so, yeah, I'm super excited to do this with Jeff. Okay. So, so the first thing was outsource. The second thing was delegate, right? And delegate all the components. Okay. So the conception, the planning, and the execution has to be delegated. And then the third thing is utilize 15-minute blocks. I don't know about you, but my mom was the kind of mom that did laundry day, right? Where like she would literally spend an entire day doing laundry. I can't. Like I can't. It's just one of those things that every once in a while we will try to do this, and I develop such a hatred for laundry that we go back to doing it the other way. We do one load of laundry every day. And if you consistently like, we try to name the day. So like a lot of times Monday is laundry, or I'm sorry, Monday is sheets, Tuesday is towels, Wednesday is Eric's clothes. Thursday will be our clothes, and Friday's kind of like a free day to do, like if we have like kitchen towels and miscellaneous cleaning stuff that we have to clean. And then usually if we do that, we don't have to do laundry on the weekends. Okay. Now your house might be a little bit different, right? You might need, the extra 2 days, but kind of having that gets through all the laundry for us. You might need to do 2 loads a day. But what we do is we put it in the morning, we flip it over at lunch. So if you need to do a second load, you can put the second load in at lunch. And then if you're doing a second load, you could, pull it out, or you could switch it again around dinner time. But what that will do is then in the evenings, when we're getting ready to wind down, we'll usually watch a little bit of TV or some British detective show. What are we watching right now?
Is Murder on Paradise Island or something?
Yeah, it's like Murder in Paradise or something. It's on BritBox. Really, really good show. Really, really good show. But like, so we'll watch an episode of that while we're putting the laundry away. Okay. Yeah, I have to, like, productivity in me, like it's a thing, right? I can't just sit and watch TV. But it gets the laundry folded, right? Or put away. So, but though like little chunks of time, right? How long does it take you to throw laundry in? Right? Not very long. And one thing that we did that really, really helps. So we have a sorting laundry hamper in our basement. We actually have one in our bedroom and one in our basement. But what we do is when we bring the clothes downstairs, we actually sort them out by load. Because, like when you've got kids, like everybody's laundry gets all mixed up. So we find like our laundry in Eric's room. I don't know how that happens, but it does. We've got like a bucket that we put like dirty rags in. Well, sometimes clothes get in there. We've got Eric's clothes and our clothes. And so having this rack helps us sort out the laundry, so that like when we do Eric's wash, it's really Eric's wash. Okay. And like towels and stuff don't get stuck in there and stuff like that. So, but that takes what, 5 minutes to put that in, and then another 5 minutes to, flip it over. And so, it's funny because I think I was listening to Greg McEwen's podcast, and I love his podcast, the Essentialism podcast. So one of the things that he says in the podcast is that we overestimate what we can get done in a day, but we underestimate what we can get done in like 10 minutes, right? And I think that is so true. It's like, oh, I only have 10 minutes, right? So I can't possibly get anything done because I only have 10 minutes. I also like using short blocks of time like that to do things like doing little pickups. And what I mean by that is I'll set a timer for like 15 minutes, and I will go into a room and I'll just pick up as much as I can. The thing that I love about that is I'll put on some music, either on my earbuds or, on our speaker, and we'll all do it together if I put it on the speaker. But just like take 15 minutes and like, what can you clean up? What can you throw away? What can you get out of that room that doesn't need to be there? And so I absolutely love that because like there's so much that you can get done in 15 minutes that we just don't realize. So set a timer, put on some music, and see what you can get done. Okay. So those are my 3 tips. Okay. Outsource, delegate, and utilize your 15-minute blocks. Now, if you want more tips, you can go to smallbizmama.com/mom to get my Mother of All Time courses. This is a 5-part video series. It's completely free that will show you how to cut your household chores, your life chores by at least 10 hours a week. Okay, so it's a 5-part video series that I put together because, and it's funny because I put this together before COVID, and I think now with COVID, it's more needed than ever. So you can go to smallbizmama.com/mom, or just go to smallbizmama.com and click on the show notes for episode 32. All right, mamas, I hope you found this helpful. Make sure to go to smallbizmama.com to get all the links from today's episode, and take care of yourselves and take care of each other. Love you all. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Small Biz Mama with Kristen Ingram. If you'd like to learn how to create more margin in your life, please visit us at smallbizmama.com. That's smallbizmama.com.